Bueno, ahora nos vamos del campo al océano. ¿Sabéis que en el océano va a haber más toneladas de plástico que de peces? No dentro de tanto tiempo. Muy triste esta noticia. Pero también es triste a día de hoy. Nos comemos una tarjeta de crédito a la semana, cada uno de nosotros, en microplásticos. For this roundtable, we will have 4 people that are changing this situation through their companies. So we will be speaking to these 4 professionals, and this roundtable will be moderated by Thought for Food. I wanted to share with you this data. 70% of the surface of our planet is covered by the ocean. So if we don't save this 70% of the planet, we won't save ourselves. So I'm eager to hear all the panelists now and hear their vision on how to save the world, and by doing that, save ourselves as well. So please help me welcome them with a big round of applause. Oh, how should we do this?
¿Dónde te quieres sentar?
Hello, everyone. Good morning. Welcome here. We have a fantastic group of panelists here today. And as Bea was saying, the ocean covers more than 70% of our planet. It generates 50% of the oxygen we need. It absorbs 25% of all carbon dioxide emissions and captures 90% of the excess heat generated by them. So it's not just the lungs of the planet, but it also is the largest carbon sink, a vital buffer against the impacts of climate change. In addition to providing us with food, enjoyment, and economic opportunities that improve our livelihoods. Simply put, without the oceans, life on Earth would not exist. Sadly, from pollution and climate change to overfishing and habitat destructions, oceans are bearing the brunt of unsustainable human activities. Indeed, there is an empowering realization in acknowledging that if we as a collective were able to create the problems we are facing today, we also possess the capabilities to generate solutions. And it speaks to our resilience, innovation, and responsibility, mainly. A recognition that our actions can be transformative, steering us towards a more sustainable and harmonious future. So it is indeed time for an ocean revolution. And in this spirit, we convene today for a transformative panel featuring 3 trailblazers. Their stories will not only inspire, but also illuminate the path to a brighter and more sustainable future. Let's welcome Courtney Boyd-Myers, founder and CEO of AKUA, Fernando Escribano, Senior Advisor at Oceanborne Impact and Master Brewer of Ocean Beer, and Rodrigo García González, co-founder and CEO of Notpla. So please tell us, guys, in more or less 90 seconds each, who you are, introduce your companies, and the driving force behind your passion for this innovation sector, starting with Rodrigo.
Sure. Thank you for having me. Congratulations for the 5 years as well, Food Talks. Pleasure to be here again. I'm Rodrigo. I'm the co-founder of Notpla. We are a company with the mission of making single-use plastic disappear. And we do that by using seaweed, the plants of the ocean, to create a material that is not plastic, therefore the name Notpla. We started with this product to contain water that we use in places like the London Marathon. We normally do it a bit bigger, but the thing is that you can eat it.
Fantastic. I love it.
If you want, and then we started to use the same material to cover boxes for takeaway food delivery. So now we work in 9 different countries. We have made things like for olive oil, and we started to make now rigid things, even if at the moment they are not too rigid, so we are still working on it. And we are a team at the moment of 74 people based in London. And yeah, working really passionate for this mission.
Fantastic. Thank you for being here, Rodrigo. Courtney.
Hi, I'm Courtney Boyd-Myers. I'm the founder and CEO of AKUA. I am a major Notpla fan and a major ocean beer fan, so this is a really exciting panel to be on. AKUA is a regenerative food company. We source ocean-farmed kelp from the New England corridor of the United States. The company is based in the US. Our hero product, the kelp burger, and our little product we just launched for kids, which is SpongeBob-approved kelp patties, are sold in over 1,000 grocery stores nationwide and in hundreds of restaurants. I think what we're doing is really unique. I think we see a lot of this plant-based food scene in the United States right now as kind of like old school veggie burgers, this like, kind of overly funded fake meat, like beyond an impossible craze. And with AKUA, what we're trying to go back to is clean, regenerative food, getting people really excited about the health benefits of eating kelp and, of course, the climate benefits of eating kelp, which we'll dive into today.
Fernando.
Thank you, Ivani. Thank you so much, Kilometro Zero, for giving us the opportunity to participate of this ocean revolution, which I really believe is the most efficient and the fastest way to fight against this climate crisis and to help the ocean become as effective as it has been. We at Oceanborn Foundation it's a new foundation. We have was created in 2020, and we were born with the mission of creating new sources of income to finance the dedication of 100% of the profit of our activity to the ocean and to protect life in the planet. We do this by developing 3 business lines that we have currently. One is the ocean beer that you had last night. I hope you enjoyed it. If you didn't, don't tell me. And that is a way to communicate with consumers about climate crisis. We have a line of business with sustainable clothing, Oceanborn Lifestyle, and a third line of business that is impact fund, that is, I would say, science-led, impact, purpose-driven, and return-focused. I will tell you more later.
Perfect. So to dive deeper on this, Fernando, ocean beer is usually described as a purpose product, right? So could you delve into this concept and share how Oceanborn Foundation operates by supporting businesses instead of relying on charity? Tell us a little bit more about this model.
Yes, we don't want to compete with the generosity of the multiple people donating for different, very honest and well-funded contributions. We prefer to create business in an ethical, honest and committed manner. We define ourselves as 100% ethical, committed, and in that way we consider we can help change in the way we are doing things. We've been maybe misconsidering the planet in our activities. The sustainability is a kind of, maybe too much managed word, and we would like to introduce the concept of ethical measurement of things. If we don't measure things, we consider they don't exist. So in that way, this is why we consider ourselves a science-led foundation, and we would like to see if we can make as much profit as possible to donate as a grant, or invest, or make partnership in a way that we can modify the way the consumer makes the decision of consumption, and we can move and create a class of products that would be a kind of purpose-driven products.
Fantastic. Courtney, as a pioneer brand and sea greens-based foods, AKUA gave you a lot of insight into the marketing and branding strategies that are positioning your products from a niche or future food space to a mainstream market, right? So what strategies have been most effective in fostering consumer acceptance? Because at the end of the day, like innovation needs a public, so.
Definitely. Who had the AKUA cannelloni last night? It was like wrapped in a little, it had, yeah, so that's our product. And I think product positioning is the most important part for us. So I mentioned it in my intro, but really kind of luring people away from that, you know, this bleeds and it's made in a lab to, you know, this is from the ocean. It's really, you know, going to have all these micronutrient benefits. It's not just about the macros like the fat and the carbs, but how are you getting your vitamins and minerals on a daily basis? Shouldn't you eat food that makes you feel good? You know, we are, and especially in the States, so used to this idea that we're going to eat a bunch of food and feel like crap. Like, how backwards is that? So at AKUA, we're like, this food will make you feel delicious and energizing. And yes, it's also incredibly climate friendly. Let's talk about our ocean farmers. But what we've sort of realized in the 3 years selling the kelp burger is that, unfortunately, people don't pull products off of shelves because of climate change and their commitments to lowering their carbon footprint. They care, you know, is it delicious? Is it convenient to cook? And is it healthy for me? So we've really focused on the health benefits of kelp and seaweed. And, you know, I think you see a lot of celebrity-backed CPG products today. You know, we are exploring bringing the new Little Mermaid, Halle Bailey, in as a partner to the company. And of course, you guys see up here, you know, we did a royalty deal with Nickelodeon to basically, you know, help kelp jump out from the shelf so that, you know, kids of all ages, really, because SpongeBob's a 25-year show, and the movie's coming out next year, so, you know, we hope that some of that fanfare will lift kelp. You know, other than that, I think that traditionally seaweed products have been, you know, branded in sort of like an, you know, an Asian-y way, or like a very kind of old school New England farmery way. And we're trying to be very punchy, very Gen Z, very exciting, you know, speaking to a much younger audience, because that younger generation there's more vegans and vegetarians coming up than in any generation before. So we're really excited about that. We cater to that.
Perfect. Thank you for sharing, Courtney. Going back to Rodrigo, I was super happy to interview you because, like, a part of a team that nominates initiatives and innovations up to the Earthshot Prize, that you won that on December 2022, and in the category of Building Waste-Free World. So how has this prestigious environmental recognition impacted the company? And more broadly, how do you see initiatives like the Earthshot Prize influencing the trajectory of sustainable innovation and circular economy practices?
Sure. Maybe a bit of context for everyone who might not know the Earthshot Prize. The Earthshot Prize is this prize that Prince William wanted to give for people involved in sustainability. He approached the Nobel Prize and asked, can you add a new category to your prizes? And the Nobel Prize, they say no. So he went to found his own prize with David Attenborough and a few other celebrities. And every year they award 5 prizes. They give to every one of the winners £1 million, which is quite significant. And there is quite a lot of media and excitement around it. So last year the ceremony was in Boston. David Beckham gave us the award, so it was kind of like a big deal. In 2 weeks, the new ceremony is in Singapore. We become the all winners instead of the current winners, and had brought quite a lot of attention. Like, the prince itself is quite involved, so we had to see him quite often. We were in New York with him.
So cool.
3 weeks ago for Climate Week, sharing stage with Bill Gates and other kind of like super big personalities. We had him in the office. We had him selling our boxes. So he had managed to sell our boxes to Aston Villa, the football club that he really supports. And then from there, like 50 more stadiums won our boxes. So he managed to create this kind of like a snowball effect. And I think it's really important to put a bit the focus or the sexiness, a bit what you were saying, on things that they are maybe at the moment not mainstream, or topics like sustainability that probably new generations are focusing on. And I think it's important that they become mainstream.
Fantastic. Courtney, Fernando, and Rodrigo, now talking a little bit about expansion and growth, because we need initiatives like yours all over the planet, you know, like we need to make it happen faster. So what are your current strategies and for expanding and growing your businesses? Who wants to start? Who feels like? Okay.
We have like two main pillars for this definition of our strategy. The first one is try to accelerate so that every company that we invest in, every project that we work with, we try to get involved as much as possible and in a way that we can develop and accelerate the route to market of what they're doing. We do that by the development of a platform that we have created within Oceanborn Impact, that it belongs to Oceanborn Foundation, that we name the Knowledge for the Ocean. We think there is a need for bridging, like Beatriz was explaining very clearly today. We need to bring knowledge to where it should be, to be productive. So we are trying to have this mission of linking the knowledge with the productivity. We do that with the seaweed industry. We do that with the food industry. With the seaweed industry, we do it in a way that we want to maximize the value and create a sustainable value chain of products from seaweed. Maybe for the food, but not only for the food, but the cosmetics, the pharmaceutical, animal feed industry. With the food wastage, we do it collaborating with companies that reduce food waste. With both of them, we try to integrate the knowledge that we have within the foundation and bring it to their departments of R&D. Startups are difficult to have departments of R&D. So we try to replace a little bit that role of research and development of new companies from the inputs of the foundation. So our strategy is mainly accelerating, and the second pillar is measure what we do. We need to measure how the impact is. We invest in companies that have a positive impact on the environment, but we need to measure it. We need to certify it. We need to audit it. So somehow we try to do these two things.
Yeah, it's all about transparency and trust at the end of the day as well, for people to change their habits, right? So if they see it's happening and how it's happening, that's a big one for changing behaviors as well, as Courtney was mentioning. So Courtney, what are your strategies?
This idea of speedy growth and growing fast it's been on, I think, a lot of our minds for the past 2 years, and as the funding landscape has shifted under our feet, I'm more thinking about slower growth and growing in a really healthy way. And in the past 6 months, we've been, cutting our marketing spend, thinking about what is the longevity of this business, how do we reach profitability faster. And one of the things we've been focused on for the longevity and the survival of the business is really the supply chain optimization. So how can we make this kelp cheaper for us to buy so that we can open up B2B revenue streams, so that more people can come in and buy kelp? It is a very nascent industry. There's approximately 1 million pounds being grown in the New England corridor. Alaska could be a huge, supplier of kelp. In the Faroe Islands in Europe, there's ocean rainforest, like an amazing supplier of kelp, but still we're in kind of the stone ages of growing this. And, I'm sure you feel this too. And so I think, as much as we want to grow fast and have strategies for that, my focus as a CEO has been, how do we stay alive? How in 10 years' time can we be clearly the market leaders in developing this new category? And these things just take time, right? Like, I can throw all the marketing and all the celebrities at it, but convincing someone in Los Angeles who shops at Erewhon to eat a kelp burger is very easy. But how do I convince, the guy who's pro-fracking and owns, a cow farm in Texas to also eat a kelp burger? And I have to convince both of those people if I want this business to be big and thrive. So yeah, I think it's just going to take time. And we've seen trends before this, like mushrooms are a great example. I think if I looked at mushrooms, I used to work in a mushroom company in 2017. I thought that was peak mushroom boom, and we are nowhere near the peak of the mushroom boom. And so I think seaweeds are going to follow a similar trajectory, but it might not be on that 5-year to 7-year venture-backed return timeline that we all thought it was when we started.
Rodrigo?
For us, in terms of scaling up, we are launching in new countries. So yesterday we opened in Italy as a new market. We are in 9 countries at the moment in Europe. We are doing pilots in the US. So I think next month in Portland, the Trailblazers are going to use our packaging for all the stadium, which is quite exciting. And yeah, working quite a lot with supply chain and trying to work all together on this seaweed revolution as well. So
where's your kelp from?
We have quite a lot of seaweed from different parts. Quite a lot of it from Spain, actually. There is quite a lot of seaweed. You might not realize, but like in Burgos, there is quite a lot of one of the biggest seaweed suppliers. Burgos is in inland in Spain, so it's not like a common place for seaweed. But yeah, long time ago, Franco decided that it was. So they put a seaweed plant there.
Cool.
Fantastic, guys. Touching a little bit about circular economy and collaboration for growth. And as we are heading like already to the end of this panel, unfortunately, to wrap it up literally, when are we going to have our packaging for beer and burgers made out of seaweed?
Sure. So we are making packaging for burgers, for stadiums. So I think we are doing a contract now with Just Eat of around 10 million boxes, which is quite big, just for burger boxes.
Fantastic.
And beer, let's get our hands into it. But I think we have been
working
talking a
on
lot.
it.
Right.
Yeah.
So
we already have
circular
some,
economy
we have some
happening
alternatives
right
for packaging, but we still don't have a solution for gas drinks.
Correct.
Into the container that would be edible. But we're working on it.
Perfect. So I would leave the stage open for questions from the audience, if we have time for one question or two. Christine?
I wanted to just ask a question about the kelp burgers.
Sure.
And how, like, fishy tasting are they? And have you had, feedback from particularly your younger consumers about, like, kind of open-mindedness to the flavors? Because I'm guessing there's, a different ocean flavor that's coming across.
Yeah, so I think if you tried it last night, most people in this room would agree it does not have a fishy flavor. The predominant flavor is that umami taste profile. Our first product we launched was kelp jerky, which we no longer make. Maybe someday we'll bring it back. And that product was 70% kelp. We learned really quickly the hard way that is too much kelp to feed to someone who didn't grow up eating seaweed. And so, we look at our kind of like non-Asian American audience and we do a lot of testing, and with the kelp burger, we've dropped the kelp. It is still the first ingredient on all of our nutrition labels. Like, that's really important to us, that we're not just sprinkling it on popcorn and calling it a day. But with the kelp burger, we also have mushrooms and extra virgin olive oil. And again, those just add to that umami taste profile. And I think it's really important, we poll, like, we've got a 50,000 person mailing list that we've built over the years, and we poll people like, can you taste the kelp? Do you think it tastes fishy? And about 50% of people say they can taste the kelp. And then the next question is like, did you grow up eating kelp products? And if they did, they grew up eating seaweed, they can identify it, but if they didn't, they can't identify it. And very few people think it's fishy. I mean, there is certainly, like, I'd say 10% say it's fishy, but it's not the majority.
There's a question there?
Yeah, a question for Rodrigo.
Danny.
About the compostability, the disposal, the end of life. I think it'd be helpful for people.
Sure. So the question is about the end of life of our products. So we have different type of end of lives depending on the product. On the original one, you just eat it, so it's just fiber that goes through your body. On the rest of the products are not plastic, so they are not chemically modified. So that means that nature knows how to basically kind of like digest them really well. Seaweed is one of the oldest organisms on this planet. We're all made out of seaweed, if you wanted to see it that way, and know how to kind of like eat it quite fast. Our products normally biodegrade faster than a fruit peel. And specifically when we combine the seaweed with things like cardboard, it allows the cardboard to be recyclable if you need to recycle, things that if you embed it with plastic or microplastic, it doesn't, or like the carton will go away, for example, in composting, but it won't recycle. Maybe another differentiation that is important to make is that there's quite a lot of products nowadays that they claim to be compostable. Compostable is a range. and normally the products are claiming to be industrially compostable. What that means is that you need to bring those products or identify them and bring them into industrial composting facilities, that there are not that many. You have to put them under heat and pressure for 3 months in an oven until they start to break down into microplastics potentially. So it's not a great kind of like way of end of life for certain products. While if you create products in the same way that you will create fruit peels, if that makes sense, is what we have been doing for centuries. So we know how to deal with it, not only ourselves as a society, but the environment.
You got to get the mushrooms to break down at all.
And sometimes, I don't have it here, but like sometimes, for example, we can make pasta sachets that you can put the full sachet into the pot, so you can cook with it, and you can functionalize it, so you can add salt, or you can add any other type of functionality into it. So as you were saying, sometimes it's quite hard to sell the consumer just on the sustainability story.
Yeah.
You need to add some functionality or some added value. Yeah. And sometimes that added value it gets added into portioning or into flavoring or into any other benefit that the consumer won't get from plastic.
Super smart.
Fantastic. A big thanks to our panelists, Courtney, Fernando, and Rodrigo, for shedding light on regenerative innovation and inspiring our path ahead. As we are heading out, before that, I wanted for you to have a line on what we as people, humans, can do to support businesses like yours and innovation and really create this wave of revolution that we all have a say, we all have an action, and we empower each other and we hold each other accountable for the change to really happen.
From my side, maybe it's to be informed and to have common sense on the things that you buy, eat, or consume.
We just finished our equity crowdfunding campaign at 7 a.m. this morning, or I'd say throw $100 in. But I think my one ask is I see the dinner table as the greatest piece of connective technology ever invented. So bring up these conversations that you're having at this event with your friends and family as you go out into the world. And I think word of mouth is the way that sparks the greatest change.
I have 2 words to take home. The first is help. The second one is awareness. We believe that everything we do, not only at our foundation, but in everyday life of most of us, should have these 2 words on kind of a written paper and keep clear for everything we do. We need help to help the ocean recover. The ocean is sick. The ocean is our detoxifying agent, is our protection, is our life. So help to protect the ocean, please. And the way, help us creating awareness, help us making a decision that is responsible for consumption of purpose-driven products, purpose for protection of our environment. Really, what we do is protect what we love. Thank you.
So as a last thing, a big finger wiggling if you are in and you are taking action from now on and spread the word. Yay. Super.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.